Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Kenspire Business Mantra. And today it is going to be one of the most important episodes wherein I'll be talking about a fundamental difference between the large successful companies and the emerging small and medium enterprises. So, welcome back to this episode on process setting. So, friends, in the previous episode, we discussed about structuring the organization and the importance of a formal methodology to do that, and also how to approach recruiting the right set of people. Having done that, can we just leave the people to work on their own, in their own style? Then, if you do that, multiple people will bring multiple styles on their own. There won't be a cohesive and converged approach in managing the business. Now, I told you the fundamental difference between the large companies and not so successful companies. It is actually a process-oriented approach. Now, what is meant by process-oriented approach? A process means looking every activity as what is the input, how does it get processed, and what is the output, right? That is a fundamental aspect in process approach. Second thing, it is the responsibility of the top management or the entrepreneur to set the process in each of the various departments and to enable such process to happen so that the entrepreneur can ensure whatever methodology that is being followed by the various departments is as per his requirement or the best practices that are to be followed for bringing the success in an organization. Now, how do we approach it? We all would have heard this terminology called SOP, Standard Operating Procedures, right? So, in the previous episode, we said we have to list down the activities in each of the departments. Next step, take each activity and then completely write the procedure to be followed in approaching or managing the activity. When we say procedure, obviously we have to define the sequence of activities, sub activities. Also, in each level, each desk, what should be the input, the form of input, then how the output should be, everything should be defined. Just imagine at the micro level, defining these kinds of process level input output parameters will do a great good to the organization, and the entrepreneur can make sure every process or every activity, every sub activity is run or managed in such a way that it delivers the appropriate output. Second objective for doing this is perfect coordination between the various departments. Often inefficiencies get built up in an organization because of lack of interdepartmental coordinations. A lot of dependent activities will be there between the various sections and departments. How to make sure there are no bottlenecks? Only by setting the process, putting things into a proper document, and communicating it properly and implementing it appropriately. That's what we'll be talking today. So we spoke about standard operating procedures. So it starts from the list of activities. Each activity needs to be defined as a SOP. And when we say SOP, it is very important that the definition of the activity at the managerial level should be at the SOP document. We can't share the same SOP document to down the line junior most employee and ask him to follow. Maybe for him, a simple work instruction or a checklist may be useful. So those work instructions and checklists will also be part of the larger SOP for the particular activity, right? So the whole purpose or objective is clearly define how this activity to be taken up, what are the control parameters, what are the input and output parameters, and how this process will be controlled, and who will be responsible to do this particular activity. If this can be defined at the micro level by way of SOP, work instruction, checklist, etc., etc., the whole thing is called process documentation. And this is how you set the process in an organization. Right? Now, many of you listening to this particular note can just relate to how you right now manage your business. Is it clearly defined, or is it just left to the individual managers and supervisors to handle by themselves? If so, I would strongly recommend you take this particular approach and define it, and then you will find a difference. For existing organizations, I would suggest two-pronged approach here. One, if you don't have any documentation for your entire processes at all, first map the as-is basis document. Right now, how every department is functioning, every activity is being handled, document it. Call it as-is document. Obviously, while doing it, we will be identifying a lot of gaps, a lot of bottlenecks, hiccups. Now, how to mitigate, how to fill these bottlenecks? Based on that, you will have to prepare a to be SOP document. That will be the final SOP document. Having prepared the document, whether it is for a new organization or for an existing organization, the next big challenge is going to be implementation. Defining is only 30%. 70% depends on implementation. Now, in an ongoing organization, you have to be careful with change management challenges. So, generally, people will have a lot of resistance in accepting change, right? So, we need to handle it in a very structured way by way of appropriate workshops, training programs, and continuous communication in multiple ways so that they completely imbibe the whole process. In fact, the ideal way will be in preparing the as-is document and the to be document, the entire team should be involved totally into it so that they feel they are the owners of the SOPs and they will implement it for us. So the implementation, before the implementation, a number of training and workshops to be undertaken, and it should be clearly communicated to the team. Having done that, from the cutoff date, implementation to be taken up. After that, regular intervals, follow-up needs to be done, whether it is being properly carried out as per the SOP or if there is any deviation. This regular follow-up is absolutely compulsory to make sure that these SOPs are followed carefully. Otherwise, there's no assurance that people follow the SOPs. Just by preparing SOPs, it doesn't mean that your organization is going to change. You need to put time in making sure proper follow-up is done. Simple. On a daily basis, whenever we are interacting with your managers, ask a simple question. Results are fine, but what happened to process implementation? Whether you are following process carefully, whether the compliance aspect is there with your team. Just keep asking this question, things will change. Now, why process is important? Now, we can take management mantra. Also, I will also explain this in a different philosophical way. From a management point of view, when we address the process, when we define the process, and when we make sure that an activity happens as per the process, result will be automatic. Okay, it'll happen like magic if we follow the process, follow the path. Now, is it sounding familiar? right? What is the simple principles of Bhagavad Gita? You follow your rules, you follow your path, you do your duty, forget about the result. Which means what? It is nothing but following your process and leave the result to the process. It will be there. So you have a management meaning as well as a philosophical or a guidance from the God on the same thing. This one particular process approach is the differentiating factor between largely successful companies and smaller organizations who are finding it tough to be successful. One final point, having defined the SOPs and the connected documents, it is not a static document. Every 6 months, you revisit and review the entire document because business dynamics keep changing. So these documents also have to, cope up with those changes. So make sure every 6 months this is revisited and updated, but with proper version control. So, in the subsequent episodes, we'll be talking about how to make sure it is further strongly implemented. For now, we come to the conclusion of this process setting episode. Hope you would have enjoyed it. This is very important step. Please follow this if you are not already following it. And till we meet again, best wishes from our side for a great future in your journey of entrepreneurship. Bye.